Okay, let's have some fun with this. This is James Maduke speaking. What's today about? Well, today is about online courses and building online courses on how that doesn't really necessarily guarantee your course is going to be successful. And today I want to go over probably 6 main keys. There's more than them I'll talk about, but 6 kind of main things that happen before you actually create a course. See, creating or building courses isn't the only thing that you have to do. There's a whole bunch of other pieces, and you can use ChatGPT and Claude to actually do them. And if you want to make sure that your course is successful, you're going to have to do these. There's so many courses available now for everyone to actually see and or take. It can be really difficult to stand out, and even though you have great content, you may have really good content, super content, you may put a lot of time, energy, and effort into your course, but that doesn't mean that it's going to sell. And building an education business is more than just courses, but a lot of people can get really excited at the start thinking, hey, I'm going to be away to the races. All I have to do is create a great course. It's going to sell, and I'll be able to earn some money from it, whether it's a side hustle when you're over 40 or it's part of your regular business, your education business. So let's dig into that and kind of figure out where things are at. Now, I've spent the last little while talking about a program that I put together called Teach. Well, it's not a program, it's a series of steps that are required when you're actually creating courses. So it's TEACH. And I'll put the links below to those videos because there's a number of them. But the first 2 steps, the T and the E, are about targeting and expanding. And if you miss those core parts of the program, and specifically you don't use ChatGPT or Claude to actually do that part, your course in many cases is going to be fighting an uphill battle, which is not what you want to do. Certainly not what I want to do when you create some course. You put your heart into it, you're really working hard at it, and you go, how come no one's buying it? Like, is it me? Do they not believe me? Like, what's the scoop? So there's other things that you need to do, that T and the E, and that's what this is all about. Because that course research, that actual down in the weeds course research, is the first thing that you're going to have to do even before you create the course. Even before, like most times when you see AI tools or you see ChatGPT or anyone talking about, creating online courses, it's all about how do I create an outline and how do I create the lesson content. That's the big focus of all of these tools and everyone. You've got to spend a lot of time targeting things beforehand. You have to know in great detail what it is exactly that you're talking about. And you have to know, for example, you got to kind of figure out who's the competitors. What is the problem that they have that I'm solving? Where are the gaps in the particular area that I'm focusing on? What are the popular topics? You have to do this research. So if you're using ChatGPT and maybe asking things like, ChatGPT, remember the difference between Claude and ChatGPT. One of the big things is that ChatGPT has live access to the internet where Claude doesn't. So you can ask ChatGPT to do some research for you, and you use prompts like what are the, I have some written down here that I'll put for you as well. And we'll add them here. Hopefully I can show up in the right place here. Let's adjust my camera a little bit. There we go. Let's fix that. I got another camera actually that's here. Now the cool thing is, of course, is that I started a little bit late today because I have my Elgato teleprompter that was supposed to be delivered an hour ago, just when I was scheduled to start, but I didn't want to miss it because I got a sign for it. And I'll be able to look in the camera next time instead of having it over and off to the side. But that's another video when we talk about using teleprompters. But this course research part, like if you are using ChatGPT, you have to figure out how are you going to ask ChatGPT to do things like that. Find popular topics, make sure they have, or you know who the competition is and what they're providing, the questions they're answering, the courses they put together, and more importantly, where are the gaps? Where are the pieces missing that I need to fix or that I have an opportunity to take my material and plug in and take advantage of those gaps? So you may be doing things like saying, what are the most popular online course topics on platforms like Udemy, Coursera, Skillshare, Khan Academy? there's a whole bunch of different places where you can actually search and find out what's popular. So you're going to use ChatGPT to do some of the things. What are some of the common sub-niches within a topic and their popularity across those platforms? So you want to find the topics, the categories, but more importantly, the subtopics. Where are the breaks that I should be looking at? And you may ask it, just say, identify gaps that are missing or that are ill-served or served less in this particular subtopic. So you got to really narrow down just on the actual objective of that course research. The other thing is you want to look and find out, you're going, okay, well, what platform am I going to sell this on? I'm a big fan of creating your own learning campus, your own training business, owning that information by hosting it on your own website like WordPress. But if there are other people that are selling courses on different platforms, what's being filled? A good example right now, one of the ones that's very popular is School. And School has a whole bunch of different, I guess you could call them courses in School as a platform. So you can go take a look and see some of the other courses. So you want to be able to go and look at the platforms and know, where am I going to sell my course? Is it going to be on my website? Am I going to put it in one of these MOOCs, M-O-O-C? I'll explain what that is in a minute. Am I going to put it on software as a service like Thinkific or School or Kajabi or any of those particular places? But you got to go and find that. You may ask, compare the number of courses, student enrollment, and average pricing for this topic on this platform. So you can do some research again, not only to find out what's served and what's not served, but what are the price points? Because you got to figure out, I'm going to sell the course. Is it a mini course, a micro course, a small course that I'm going to charge a little bit of money for, or I'm going to use as a lead magnet, or is it a big program that I want to spend my time selling and really focusing on? So, which platforms have the highest demand? That's one of the big things when you're doing all of this stuff is the platform, software as a service. You may be relying on traffic to that platform. The popular platforms often get more traffic when they're popular than the other platforms. So, you've really got to figure out how you're going to ask ChatGPT to do those. And remember, I'm putting these in a link to these in the bottom so that you can have them. But that's like two things you got to do right off the bat. The third one is stuff like keyword planning. And I've talked about this before. When you're starting out without a brand and you're not known, you don't have a subscriber list, a lot of the things that when you're on these platforms, you have to make sure that it's SEO optimized, right? You have to be able to have your course or your videos come up as the popular ones based on the keywords that you're doing. So, and you're going to have to do some research on keywords, for example. What are the most relevant keywords in this topic that you're focusing on? Analyze the search volume on this particular topic or course that you're thinking of. Suggest optimized titles for a particular course, or in fact, just course titles that are keyword rich. These are all things, again, you can use ChatGPT for, and you're going to have to do that before an outline, before course content. This is that T part. You got to make sure you target it completely. I'm not even referring to the fact that you need to have an avatar or you know exactly what the questions that the people you're trying to serve on. You should have that. You're still going to have to find these other things. The next part that is really important when you're doing all of this is that most people don't create a course in a vacuum. And what I mean by that is they'll often have a book. They'll often have reference materials, like online books or PDFs or podcasts or all of these additional material that isn't their own. And they'll be researching that not only to use for themselves, but to find out what everyone else is publishing. So, you're doing this, you want to find as many third-party pieces of content as you can to supplement it. So you might do some work on ChatGPT and do things like list the top-rated books for this particular topic. So it can go to Amazon and Kindle and all of these places for additional books. Summarize the key takeaways of this particular book to supplement what it is that you're doing before you create a course online, before you actually create your course content. And then 5 and 6 are the ones that normally we think of. These are things, you still got to do: content planning and lesson structuring. Remember here, I'm talking about the curation part of it in Teach, T-E-A-C-H. And then, you're going to be able to have to, in that curation part, you're going to have to work on optimizing things like the content structure, the optimization. You have to look as well when you're doing all of this, and this is the big one that's part of a ChatGPT one, is scoring and the market trends. So when I'm talking about working through all of this information about looking and doing your research and the gap analysis, having some way to score the gaps, and I'm talking about looking for trends and finding trends, can make a huge difference on what kind of course you automatically use and how you optimize it. When I'm doing this right now, one of the things that's up really popular right now, and it's kind of going, not down, it's not as popular it was, but there was a whole kind of thing on YouTube, was for the over 40 crowd, the side hustle. And you'll see a lot of titles that'll focus on over 40 users who are wanting to either be on YouTube or create online courses. And I still try and cheat on that a little bit and focus some of my titles on it because it is popular, but identifying these trends and which ones actually work better, again, that's a big part of it. So, content organization, those kinds of things. And again, you can see the ones I pulled up in ChatGPT doing the research I did for this. I'm looking at the screen as well, going through all of these. And so there's a bunch of them that are there, and these things that we're working on are all stuff that has to be done beforehand. So special tools, research, all of the things, you're going to use ChatGPT to do that. Now, here's the great part and why I wanted to mention this today. One of the things that I found is, I've been talking about prompts and prompting and ChatGPT and Claude and figuring out what to ask, how to have a conversation with it. And still, some people struggle with it. It's not the easiest thing to do unless you've done it a couple times and you don't necessarily get the result that you want. So wouldn't it be great if you kind of had a tool or a software as a service that did all of those things for you without you having to figure out the prompts? Well, there certainly is one, and it's one I ran in today, and it's the one I want to show you or talk to you about right now. It's called Eurekaa.io. Again, I'll put the links before you. I have an affiliate link below. I'd love for you to use it, and I think there's actually a discount with it. So again, I'll put the link so that you have a chance to take a look at it. But this particular one is spelt a little bit differently. It's Eurekaa.io. And again, I'll put the link there. And what this does, and I'll show you the website and we'll go through some of the features here, but what it does is all of these things for you without you having to prompt. You're still going to have to figure out what topic and subtopic, that kind of thing, that's available for you, but it does a bunch of the research for you. And where it gets their data, I'm just going to show you this quickly. One of the things that it does is it uses the data from somewhere other than you having to prompt ChatGPT to go out and actually do the work there. So I mentioned a term before, MOOC, M-O-O-C. I don't know if that's the way it is, but that's a massive open online course. So think of it like this. This is a big library of courses from all sorts of authors. Now, some popular ones you might have heard of in the past are ones, for example, called Udemy. I think that's one kind of the giant in the room, Udemy. And that particular one, if we just go take a look for it here, they have a number of them. You can get courses on any topic, tons of topics. Some of them are expensive, some of them are inexpensive, some of them are short, some of them are long, but there's hundreds of thousands, and I think there might even be hundreds of thousands of courses that are here now. And there's all sorts of different categories. It's not just technical ones like how to use a piece of software, but they have personal development ones. For example, happiness, parenting and relationships, all different topics. So Udemy is an example of one. One that's more geared for a younger audience is Khan Academy. All of these ones are free, if I'm not mistaken, but a lot of these were elementary school, high school, and even some university level courses There's tons of them available. If you go to Khan Academy, again, I'll put the link here and you can see there's just all sorts of different areas to focus on. And again, some of these courses are long, some of them are short, but a big area. There's one called Coursera. These ones is more of a series of courses. So you're actually taking, I guess you could call more than a single course, but a certificate is maybe the better way to do it. And you can see on this one, there's a market of 148+ million people on this one. So these people have joined and taken courses, huge markets. And why is this important? Well, the thing is that when Eurekaa goes and does some of this, what it's doing is it's actually searching these huge databases of courses, and that's what it's basing the recommendations that it gives you on. So actually Eurekaa here, they have, looks like this is 330,000 courses they've created here on the tool. You've got 1,800 or 1.8 million niches, and there's 40 million books, which I'll get to in a second. So what this particular thing does is the big thing that it does is if you are asking for or searching for the particular topics, subtopics, and categories, it's got an interface that allows you to basically go and search that, and more importantly, be able to break down what works and what doesn't work. And right now they've got 300,000 online courses and 40 million book titles. So that's the database that they're pulling from right now. So you can use the interface to actually go in and search and find out what's there and what isn't. Is the topic you're thinking of, is there a category for it? Is there a subcategory for it? And what's there? So the other thing that's kind of neat here is that not only will it let you search them, the big thing for a lot of people is you want to look for trends and make sure that it's a topic, more importantly, that is trending up, or the other thing is you want to make sure that there's a demand for it. So what it does in the interface, again, it allows you to search your topic, subtopic, category, but it will also let you know how many people are interested in this, and more importantly, which direction is it becoming, more popular or less popular. So you want to make sure that any of the targets that you pick are popular ones. This is part of the problem too, if we're considering, hey, I'm going to go and build my online course, and no one's interested in it, no one wants to spend any time with it, it's not popular, or it was popular and being less popular, don't waste your time creating a course that isn't going to sell. Okay. They do have a lesson architect, which is part of the pieces that we've talked about before. But if you take a look when you're in here playing around with the interface, it gives you the ability to not have to prompt yourself. But as you look on the screen here, what is your topic title? What's the background information? Who's it for? Audience type? Who do you want include, outclude? What kind of way is it going to be delivered? And it will actually create the outline for you for your particular course. And it allows you to use that flow or natural flow or logical progression through it. Again, I've included prompts in other videos on how to do this in ChatGPT, but for courses, this is a shortcut that you might find easy if you're actually wanting to not do it yourself and not figuring it out. Now, this is the one that I quite like as well. This one's that whole issue of how am I going to do it, making sure that there's enough of a gap or enough of an interest in it to have people play around with this. And I'll give you, do I have YouTube open here? I think I do. One of the things is I have vidIQ installed on my YouTube account, and vidIQ works with YouTube. Again, I have an affiliate link below if you want to obviously go take a look at it. Another great tool if you're looking at YouTube, and the part that I really like with it is when, I'll show you the screen in a sec here. Let me see if I can pull it up. If you take a look in this, and let me see if it's refreshed or not refreshed. It's not refreshed, so let's try this. I'll refresh my screen. One of the things that it does, and hopefully we can get one to show up, of course it's not showing up when I need it to. Hey, that happens. One of the things that it does normally, let me see if I can't, I don't know why I can't get the show up. Let's go and see. What have I got here? I can't show up. My apologies. I think it has to update when I scroll through the screens here. Okay, so what normally happens, what I wanted to show you, is that it actually has a little thing on the side here that will tell you if this particular video is more popular than the channel's other videos. Now, why is this important? Because if you see, for example, on someone's channel that you subscribe to, let's say you subscribe to someone's channel here, if you happen to be looking at their videos, you may see an indicator that says, hey, this one's 100 times more popular than this other topic. So you'll see which topics are the ones that are popular and which ones aren't, because it gives an indicator on YouTube showing it. Now, this Eurekaa does the exact same thing. You'll be able to find out which are the ones that have a gap in it, and it takes a look at the demand to say, hey, this is ill-served, or there's not enough people based on the interest that is in there. So they call it AI gap analysis. And again, sentiment analysis, what it means is, where is this one going? Should I actually spend my time with it? Is it something that I want to work on with it? The other thing I just want to kind of mention here is, remember I talked about doing your research, but having third-party information or other pieces or reference material that you actually use and consider when you're creating your course. This is a perfect example of how they do it as well. And what happens is, remember there's 40 million books? It also uses this library of books as another data point when it's playing around with it. So you'll be able to go in and see, what are the popular books? What are the popular titles? Is there demand for it? Is it underserved or overserved? Things that you can actually do with that. And again, super powerful thing to be able to consider and work through it. The other thing, they have a couple other tools there, the web clippers one. So this tool, I highly recommend you go take a look at it. It is a paid one, and you can get started quarterly with this one. It's $13.99 for 3 months. And most of the particular tools are here. There's a couple things that are missing in this researcher one. You can also do the researcher for a month too, if you just have a single project. But keyword planner, book search engine, platform research engine, and the gap analysis. So if you don't want to use the ChatGPT stuff, if you just want to go and focus on, hey, I just got a course idea, I want to see if it's real or if it's something to spend some time on, this is definitely a tool that I recommend that you take a look at. All of these things are, again, part of building online courses, and more importantly, building an education business. One of the things I'm going to do in another video, so like and subscribe, of course, to the channel so you get notified when this happens. But I always talk about online courses, and my focus has been creating online courses. But there's so much more to an education business than just the online course. So I'm going to try and open that up a little bit, other than on this daily podcast, so that we do take a look at topics that are about not only marketing your course, but a platform to deliver your course, a way to support your course, ways to teach as well. An online course is just a single part of a real business that's successful over time. And if you don't only focus on the course outline and the course content, and not take a look at the targeting, the expanding and exploring and adapting all of those things that we learned in the beginning of the teach model, you're going to find it awfully hard to not only create good courses, but more importantly, sell them. So, creating an online course doesn't mean you're going to be a billionaire next week and everyone's going to buy one. And in fact, if you have created just one course, I'm sure you found that it's not as easy to sell as some people may tell you that it is. So hope you enjoyed this. I do them every day. If you have questions, put them in the comments below. Got some special links, of course, to the trainingsites.io site. And in there, one of the ones just to make sure you take a look at is that link right there, trainingsites.io/AI course. If you want some help creating your online course doing all of that stuff in my Teach model, I would love to do it one-on-one with you. It's a 1-month program that we can work together and put that course together. The other thing that I have at trainingsites.io is we have a done-for-you service when it comes to building your education business. Things like building out your platform, creating your online courses, and getting the marketing all set up to go, like email marketing, social marketing, that I'd love to talk to you about. And just kind of reach out and say hello. So until tomorrow morning, today's Wednesday, tomorrow morning, we'll talk to you later. And again, have some fun, create courses, and really share, and enjoy all your experience as you show people how to start, build, and grow. Take care. Expect the best.